Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Crypto Hour. Today it's Friday, the 31st of October, Halloween. So happy Halloween, everyone. And there has been a lot of a bit of roller coaster this week on the crypto markets, and also some kind of like things that we were expecting. So hopefully Jonathan will be kind enough to give us a demonstration today of how to scavenge. Okay. If you know what it means, we'll see. We'll go through it in a minute. But in the meantime, let's have a look at a couple of things happened during the week. The main news in crypto in a way was the CZ, the founder of Binance has been pardoned um, uh, by Donald Trump, and that caused last weekend. It caused like a happy move in crypto that went from 108, 109 to 116. On a weekend, which is kind of like highly unusual. And this week we've had like fun and games going all over the place, and things have been dominated pretty much by the macro sector and news more than anything that's particularly inherent to the crypto market. Let's go and let me go and share and start looking at a few things. Okay. First of all, economic calendar. Okay, so this was a very heavy week in terms of economic announcements. Okay, so we had interest rates on Wednesday for Canada and the US. So Canada kept lowered the interest rate by 0.25%, 25 basis point, and the same for the US. So Canada went from 2.5 to 2.25, and the US went from 4.25 to 4%. Now, as expected. Now, as this everybody was waiting for, so nothing changed. What kind of was a little bit of a surprise is the press conference afterward, where the Jerome Powell's will kind of like cooling expectations and all saying, well, we haven't quite decided what we're going to do in December. Kind of is not kind of like a given that interest rates will be cut again. So and that kind of like got the market slightly nervous about it, and we can see some strong reaction, included what many people think as a crypto reaction. There was really kind of sell the news kind of reaction. So if it felt a little bit concerted and and prearranged. Anyway, after Wednesday, we had on Thursday another two big announcements. So the Bank of Japan announced that they kept the interest rate steady, and the euro that also kept the interest rate steady at 2.15%. Okay, so this is where they let nothing major waiting. We're waiting for today. And let's have a quick look at the labor numbers yesterday. Let's have a look. Where are they? Can't find them on here. Okay, so another look on here. For some reason. No, looks like they were not released. They were not released yesterday. They're still being affected by probably by the shutdown in the US. Okay, so never mind. Very quick look at Bitcoin, and let's have a look at what happened. Let's go into a daily chart. So this is kind of like what I started marking. I just write it to remind myself. These are the moves, and this needs to be updated. So these are the single moves, up and down moves that we have seen since the big drop that we had. And sometimes it helps putting them like this on a visual scale. So we can see that after the big drop, we had moves that were progressively becoming smaller and smaller. So we had one up, one down, one up, one down. And then we started getting now bigger moves. So the up move was bigger than the previous one. And now the down move has been bigger than the previous one. So let's see, what would be expectation is that, then the next move here will then overtakes 16,000, because what's happened here? You can see this area between 116,000 and 121 has literally nothing in between. So the market tried to push beyond that, but didn't quite have enough strength. So it didn't manage to close on a daily candle above 115,100, which was the highest close that we had after the drop, but it's already gone beyond it intraday. Okay, that means that any probably remaining selling power here has been mostly absorbed. Okay, so the next time, if there is a next time, that we push at this level again, we're probably going to go all the way up. Okay, all the way up to this area. Again, kind of playing back this game and seeing probably another green candle of around, maybe around this size, maybe more. Okay. Just to give you an idea to play a little bit of the guessing game. But anyway, in any case, if you want to see things that are relevant and not just like playing, but let's base it on some data. So you see where the market is stabilizing. This was the high of the beginning of 2025. So the highest close that we had in kind of December 24 and January 25. And when we went all the way up to a new all-time high, when we come down, where was the lower close? Just here. Again, at that point. Okay? What was once resistance has become support. So at the moment, this is still acting as an area of support, because you see that we've gone beyond it again on an intraday level. But every time we have reached that point, it's been like a strong pullback. Once here, twice here, 3 times here, this little one, and now 4 times yesterday. Because from yesterday we already had, from 106 to 110, so we already have $4,000 worth of move from last night. Okay, so we are still in this basically this box where, and Bitcoin does that every time. Sometimes it makes a new high, then is a period of consolidation, which is roughly between 120 and 106, and we're still playing in that arena. Okay, so nothing major to panic about, although there are many voices that are saying that we are at the end of the cycle and beginning of the bear market. I don't believe that personally, but I might be wrong. And this is kind of something I wanted to share with you as well. Let me go. I took a screenshot earlier. Where are you? Where is my? Sorry. Zoom controller always in the way, as usual. Okay. Now let's have a look at what's to come in the next few months, and then if Jonathan is okay, I can pass him the mic and we can show you a demonstration of the scavenger phase for midnight. Okay, so let's look at the macro picture ahead of us. Okay, money creation in 2026 will be absolutely through the roof. Fiscal stimulus from the US, Germany, Japan, Korea, and artificial intelligence capital expenditure will contribute to money printing. Now, central banks around the world will not be fighting it at all. If anything, they will get even looser. Now, in terms of inflation, the housing disinflation will help the US inflation stay between a 2.5% to 3% range for a little while longer. So we have a setup that is calling for nominal growth at around 5%. Central banks will adopt a neutral or loose stance. Okay, so there will be ongoing global money printing. So this setup is for what we call the everything rally. So it would be very likely that the S&P 500 will be over 7,000 by the year end, and it's possible as we get him ready for all the conditions above to hit the market in 2026. Now, 2025, money printing around the world was about 8 trillion. Okay, new money to global economies. So it's not that just the year-on-year money creation remains robust, but the pace is also accelerating. So if you can see here on the table, if you go in the table below, if you can see the numbers, and have a look at the percentages. The year-to-date percentages, 2022 was minus 5%, 5.7%, 2023 minus 0.75%, and then 2024, 4%, and 2025, 8.7%. Okay, so this, you can see how this is accelerating. Beginning of obviously 2022 or 23, we're still dealing with the indigestion of all the money that was printed during the pandemic. Okay, but in 2024, basically the purse strings started printing again. So in 2026, there will be more money printing programs coming online. So there's a German fiscal stimulus to hit the markets, and many other nations like Korea, Japan, Sweden, Australia, Canada. In the US, other people money backed by bonds and debt funded artificial intelligence capital expenditure would be contributing to this. Okay, so also there is another catalyst on the horizon, which is November the 5th. Okay, so next week, what's happening next week? There's nothing that you can find. If you look in here, you won't find it anywhere. Let me see if there's anything here. No. Okay, what's happening on the November the 5th is that the Supreme Court in the US will decide on Trump's what's it called, punitive rates, the tariffs set up against many countries in the world. Now, it is at the moment, the prediction markets are giving about 65% chance that the tariffs will be deemed illegal. Okay. The effect, what's the effect of the tariffs up to now? It's been like taxation in effect, because the tariffs are being paid by the US consumers. So it's almost like an extra tax on the US consumers. If this were to be deemed illegal, well, then there will be a legal claim for all especially the companies that had to pay these tariffs to be refunded. Okay, so that, if you look at the amount of the tariffs, we're talking about roughly about $200 billion. Okay, so it could be $200 billion. It's not that $200 billion will hit the markets, okay? But is the perception, how will the market react to this type of information? Okay, they will see as a positive because there would be a chance that, you know, money starts flowing back into the economy. First of all, stuff from abroad is cheaper again. Okay, so they don't need to spend as much to fund their particular growth for American companies. And secondly, they could actually get refunds or cash back. So where will the refunds come from? You know, it will be by printing more money. Okay, so it could be more cash hitting the economy. So obviously, Trump has got it wouldn't take this laying down, as we say, because it still has the power to then issue more tariffs, at a rate of about 15%, but it could easily do that for 90 days before these need to be approved by Parliament, so by Congress. So it's not that any money will hit the market soon, but the perception of the market could be, yay, get rid of this stuff, it'd be better for everybody. And so that could create a boost on Wednesday. So keep your eyes peeled open on Wednesday. If you see anything strange in the markets, you'll probably understand why. Okay, so obviously it's doing US hours, obviously doing US business hours, but you might want to search for the Supreme Court decision and time when they're expected to give their judgment on this particular case. Okay, so let me stop sharing now. And Jonathan, are you okay to do a little demo on the scavenger mine phase?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So just remind everybody what it is first, and then go ahead and share and show everyone.
So what is on offer now is a period in scavenger mining of the Midnight blockchain that allow anybody with a computer anywhere around the world to get hold of some of these night tokens for free. So the blockchain is brand new. It's just being developed by the same guys who built Cardano, and they want to get the token into as many hands as possible, so it becomes a really widespread, useful token that anybody can use to participate in this blockchain. Difference between this blockchain and most other ones is that this is a privacy blockchain, so your transactions on there are obfuscated and are secret, so you can carry out business operations without fear of your transactions being seen by other businesses, by opposition, so on and so forth. So it's got a lot of widespread use cases that will be coming on as it launches. So we don't know what the token is going to do, but the likelihood is it will do fairly well. So this token could be worth getting your hands on. So this phase is a 20-day phase that will let you run a website on your computer that will solve computer challenges to grab your free night tokens. You don't have to do any of the token solving, any sort of problem solving yourself. It's just down to the computer that you're running it on. The only loss in this side of things is that you're going to be running your browser 24/7 if you want to make the most of this opportunity. So you'll be using more electricity than you would normally, but the expectation is that the tokens will be worth more than that electricity you spend. So let me start sharing, and I can show you, hopefully show you what's involved. It's a little strange. Zoom updated again. Oh dear. Can't actually see my screen. Let's try that one. You see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So this is the website, SM as in scavenger mine .midnight.gd, GD as in glacier drop.
Jonathan, we can only see half the screen. The other half is kind of your background. Okay, thank you. Cool. That's fine, thanks.
So if you are brand new to this sort of thing, what you want to do first is get hold of a wallet. And the one I would recommend grabbing is Eternal. So the first place you want to go to is eternal.io, which is eternl.io. Now I've already got the extension installed, so I won't actually go through these steps, but you will go to the Chrome Web Store. You'll need to be doing this in a Chrome-based browser if you're using the Eternal wallet. That is Chrome and Brave are both Chrome-based wallets. So you go to the Chrome Web Store, you'll find this eternal.io extension. You'll install it to Brave or to Chrome, whatever you're using. Once you've done that, you'll get us to set up a seed phrase for creating your wallet. So if I jump now to the wallet interface, you can see I've got a wallet already set up here with some tokens. If you were starting from scratch, which you probably don't have time to do justice to today, but there's videos out there that'll show you how to do it from scratch. You'll come to this interface. It'll ask you to put in a PIN number, and then that'll be creating the PIN number if you're a first-time user. Then it will ask you to create a wallet, which would be as if you're in this interface, add a wallet. And you would just say, create a new wallet. And then it's going to show you a seed phrase, 24 words that you want to copy down onto a piece of paper and put it somewhere really safe and then never lose those words. That's the idea. If you have a hardware wallet, then you can use a hardware wallet to create an account as well. And that will give you a much more secure way and much more robust way of storing your seed phrase. Either way you do it is fine. And if you've got an existing Cardano wallet from days before that you've used in maybe Yoroi or Nami wallet back in the day, or Lace wallet, you can use those same seed phrases to enter a seed phrase in Eternal Wallet, and that will let you create access to your bit of the blockchain through this wallet here as well. So I'm going to not do any of those for now. You put your seed phrase in once, you'll create a spending passphrase, you set the number of accounts that you want to create down to 1, and then you should be good to go. You should be looking something like this. Now here I've got my staked ADA wallet active. I've got this little green circle here that says DApp on it, and that means that this is the wallet that's connected and talking to any websites that I want to connect to. So then when I go to Scavenger Mine, it's going to be looking to talk to that Eternal Wallet. So I'm going to click Get Started. And you'll see I've got a list of the browser's extensions that I've got installed that are capable of working with Cardano blockchain. So Eternal, Lace, and Yoroi are all installed on this browser. I'm going to choose Eternal as the one to get started with. And what we want to do is create a connection between the browser, the website, sm.midnight.gd, and the Eternal browser. And so that's what this is going to do for us now. I'm going to click Continue, and it will search for the connection, the DApp connector. Hope you can see that as well. In this case, it's found my Eternal wallet. It's found the staked ADA wallet that I've got created and set up ready. And I can just click Grant Access. And that will allow the two to talk to each other. I can then click Continue. And it will choose a destination address in my wallet that it will then use to collect the tokens into. Now, if you struggle at this point, I don't know what the default settings are for Eternal anymore when you install it the first time, but you probably, or you might possibly need to come back to Eternal and switch it into multiple address mode instead of single address mode. The Scavenger Mine is always looking for a single address to work with, a single unused address to work with. So if that's your case, and I think Paul had seen this as well, if you come to the settings menu in Eternal first, under account settings, then they've got this toggle single address mode on or off. So I'm going to turn this off for now. And that will give the wallet the chance to present an address to the Scavenger Mine to choose as a destination address. So I'm just going to refresh now to make sure all looks the same. In my instance, it found an address anyway. I have seen it not find one instantly if I haven't got that single address mode turned off. So that's something you may need to do, may not. Anyway, I'm going to click next now. You've got some lovely terms and conditions to agree to. And then click accept and sign. It's going to pop up a message in your Eternal wallet connector again, asking you to sign this message. And this message will be written onto the blockchain, and it will prove that your wallet is participating in the scavenger mine, and that you're going to be able to collect night tokens from solving puzzles. And you're not going to actually be spending anything out of this wallet. So you don't need to have anything in the wallet to do this part. So let me just quickly sign that transaction, getting my spending passphrase, which I always store in a password wallet. I prefer Bitwarden over everything else. And I'm going to place that spending passphrase in here, click sign, and that will put my proof of ownership of the wallet onto the blockchain. And you can see I've actually been using this wallet to scavenge already. So straight away we're into it. We can see we've got some tokens already claimed or already earned. We can see that I've solved 23 problems out of the 504 that are going to be presented to computers around the world. We have 1.3 million. No, we got 13.2 million solutions have already been submitted. So there are a lot of computers around the world participating in this scavenger mine. But you're not in competition. You're just seeing how many solved problems at the same rate. Now, some people may be running multiple computers. That is possible as well. But you have to have a unique browser and unique wallet to do the setup. So it's a game of diminishing returns. You're spending more compute power to get this running if you're trying to cheat the system. So ideally, you just get one browser, one wallet, and run one set of solution problems. Now you can see we've got a time window for each of these solutions to be solved. At the moment, we've got 28 minutes left in this window to solve this problem. And I'm not sure if I've solved one in this window yet or not, but I'm going to click start session just to actually say I'm willing to start solving problems. So it may present that challenge to me immediately. It may take a few minutes. It may take it right into the last second. The problem will be presented to the browser. The browser will run some computation, will solve the problem, and then it'll go idle again and just sit and wait for the next session to start. So your computer's not running hot all the time. It's just for a short window while it's solving that problem. So far, the problems haven't been very intense. It's taken literally seconds to solve it when it has been presented. So you don't have to worry too much about your electricity bill. But you are going to be leaving your computer on if you want to run it for 20 days overnight. Sometimes this session stops and you'll come back to your computer and you've found you've solved 3, and then there's been another 4 solutions or problems being presented and you haven't participated, and you might need to refresh the browser and click start session again. Sometimes it just runs and runs. So I've got one that's running my son's wallet, and his is run constantly fine. Mine has stopped twice, but I use my computer as well, so maybe it's business of the computer too. Either way, it's running. It's a bit of fun. I've earned some tokens, 78 night tokens. I don't know what they're going to be worth, but I know that I've got them now, which is nice. So if you've not had any at all before, this is a worthwhile task. I don't think it'll make you the equivalent of a Bitcoin early day millionaire, but it's free money, and that's what we like in crypto, isn't it? Bit of airdrop goodies. So, any questions anybody's got, or anything you want me to go over again? Oh, see, this does happen as well. Sometimes it'll present a problem, and your computer will fail to solve it. And I don't know whether that's a time-based failure or a compute power, or it's just confused. Some will fail, some will not. But I think I've only had 2 fail in the past, so this is now my 3rd. but I've also had some missed slots as well. So yeah, I've had 23 altogether, and it was running all day yesterday, from about 7 p.m. last night. I think Dinesh was on it with me. We were up late, problem solving, trying to get it work, trying to get it running solidly till almost midnight, I think it was in the end. But yeah, it's a good bit of fun. So yeah, any questions? Anybody going to participate?
Yes, I did experience some issues. So I was luckily up when he started, and you said you still have to press start.
That
And
session button, yeah.
Yeah, start session. I hadn't appreciated that. So thanks for that. And once you got started, then Wi-Fi went down. So I thought,
Yeah.
oh damn, gone slow. But
Yeah.
once it was rebooted, the Wi-Fi was rebooted, then you press the start session, and then it kept going.
And
Yesterday,
is yours stopped at all?
yes, I did. Yesterday I came back. I was out in all day, came back, and the laptop was still running. And then suddenly noticed that the session was stopped for some reason. I don't know how, whether I pressed any button or it just did it automatically. So I had to manually restart session. So I'd recommend keep checking that the session is still on.
Yeah.
And then this morning I noticed there were like the challenge is 25, and then the next one was 32. So I didn't get any in between. So for whatever reason, there are missed
It
sessions.
paused again, right? Yeah.
Something happens. I don't know exactly how, but it's been running. And coincidentally, you've got 78.1974 night, 25 out of 5. I've got exactly the same. So
Right. Okay.
I don't know if everybody else is getting the same, or
Yeah, maybe that's a maximum daily amount or something. We don't really know. It might be something like that.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
it,
So my
it is
experience so
working.
far. Yeah.
It is working. It's a little intermittent. The exact mechanics aren't 100% documented, but you know, it's letting everybody access it with every level of compute power. So it's nice to see, get people involved.
Yeah. I'd recommend keep an eye on stop session, start session.
Yeah. And once you've solved the problem in that session window, so yeah, I'm not sure if I've done one in here yet or not. Time spent on this challenge 0 yet, so I don't think I haven't participated in this session yet. Once it has solved it, it increments that count, shows you've got a solved problem, and then you could refresh the browser. You know, if you think it's been running for a long time, you're not sure if it's still working, you can refresh the browser and whatnot, and just make sure it's leave it looking healthy for the next session. And that should get you the maximum chance of it.
Yeah, I did a refresh of the browser yesterday morning. I had to then restart the session.
You did it after, okay, right? Yeah, I did during dinner last night. Both my sons and mine had stopped. We came back and pressed refresh. We're shouting at each other, but yeah, it was good.
That's good.
Cool. So any questions on setting up wallets or anything like that you want me to go through?
I get you in an error mode, an error message, and I can't quite start the session. So I get to sign on my wallet,
Yeah.
but then I get an error message. So I'm using Lace. So I'll get to the point where you can accept the token terms, sign on Lace, and then Lace gives me the message that the message has been signed. But then the GD website tells me that there's they couldn't find the signed message. I don't know what is causing that. I've got the settings as you said, but
is it through a hardware wallet as well?
sorry, no, this is not connected. So I created a new wallet.
Just a brand new wallet.
Because yeah, there's no way this was working with the Ledger. I've tried already.
Okay.
So that's failed. That's failed already. So I created a completely new wallet in Lace, but it still doesn't like it.
Interesting. What's the error message wording exactly?
Let me try again. Just a second. I'm sure it takes 2 seconds anyway. So confirm spelling password. Second. What does it say? Trying to get the things out of the way. Okay. So all done. The data was signed successfully. This is on Lace. Sorry, this is I'm looking at your screen rather than mine.
It's trying out mine as well.
Too many things open. Too many things open. Yeah. We could not find the sign message. Please try again.
Huh.
It takes me back to the same screen, which is, accept the token and use the terms.
Find sign message. So it sounds like it's not actually submitted it to the wallet.
Well, I get so when I click on, accept the terms and accept and sign, it comes up on Lace, and then I sign in on Lace as you done with the spending password. And on Lace, I get the sign, the data was signed successfully. I got a tick, all done. The data was signed successfully, but still, I don't see it give me the error message on the Glacier Drop site.
Yeah, I've just had the same message as well. That's not useful. So I haven't tried it with Lace, but I'm struggling with the same thing.
Okay.
So I would recommend trying it with Eternal.
So create another things every time like this. I've got lists of 24 the seed phrases. Okay, I'll try that.
Yeah, I've got a dictionary that's mostly seed phrases now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Trying to avoid that, but anyway.
Yeah, I hadn't heard anybody say whether they had or had not managed to get it working with Lace before. I assumed Lace would be no problem because it's the same with dev teams pretty much. But it looks like Eternal is working better than Lace is currently. I don't know whether maybe have you got more than one browser extension installed?
Well, yeah, I've got many browsers installed, but I've always used Brave anyway.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I have the same problem with Ethereum quite often. It only can stand having one wallet activated. So whether that's MetaMask or Rabi wallet or another, like one being active. So Cardano so far hasn't been a problem in that regard for me, but that could be something to try if you are stuck on Lace.
Yeah, but I had so I've got the kind of just the I've got all my extension deactivated, and then I just activate it as I need them.
Right.
So I don't know if
yeah, certainly single extension. Yeah, interesting. I would try Eternal.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that. Create another wallet on Eternal, and
yeah, you can just use the same free seed phrase. That one you just created, so at least you don't have to store a new one. But
good idea.
That should work. And the only hang up in Eternal so far we've seen has been that multiple single address mode needs to be switched off.
Yeah.
But other than that, you might be all right, might not.
Okay, I'll try that.
Super.
Thank you. So,
any other Cardano based questions while I'm here?
No questions?
right, I'll stop sharing.
Okay. So maybe kind of like what we can also cover a little bit is kind of like the meaning of this for why, apart from the fact that you can get some free tokens, which are, it's never, they may not be worth a lot when they first are generated, but this could be a really game changer because it could potentially give an access, especially to Bitcoin, to the DeFi world.
Mm-hmm.
And without, so obviously there's always been a possibility for Bitcoin to be used on other blockchains, but normally that used to come in the form of wrapped tokens. And as we know, Bitcoiners don't like to use anything else but Bitcoin. So in this case, could be advantageous because they don't have to. So they can just connect to DeFi, keeping the tokens in their wallet. They can pay the fees in Bitcoin. They wouldn't have to buy any Cardano or any Solana or any Ethereum. They could do everything from Bitcoin, but still participate in DeFi, which at the moment has been pretty much nigh on impossible for Bitcoiners. So what the kind of the logic for Bitcoin holders was just buy and hold it. That was it, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Now, what Michael Saylor was talking this week and was saying about what's the next step for Bitcoin, and he was talking about exactly that, using Bitcoin more as a collateral and creating kind of like bank-like applications based on Bitcoin rather than the US dollar. So that could be the next step that could make then, Bitcoin more usable, for other things than just as a store of value, because it hasn't materialized as a token to be used for transactions really. Although they're trying with the with the new with the Lightning protocol.
Lightning, yeah.
But so that from that point of view, there are many other tokens that are way more successful at that than Bitcoin, and the only thing that's really being used for is store of value. So if you can add more use cases to Bitcoin, obviously, it's already got, almost like $3 trillion of value. So it could be interesting, especially for Cardano. It could become the home for for kind of Bitcoin DeFi. So yeah, eventually, I think the Midnight, it could be the project that starts creating that Wi-Fi effect in crypto, because it's kind of 8 blockchains that they can all use the same platform without losing their independence. So it's it's really exciting. And this has been kind of completely the brainchild of Charles Hoskinson. I would say he's been pretty successful so far in what he's done. So creating Ethereum, creating Cardano, so it's not been too shabby in his activity so far. So
his track record's pretty good.
Yeah, anything that he's put his name to generally is a fairly good protocol. For the near future, there's a couple of big things that seem to be around the corner. One of it is the Kraken is going to do an IPO fairly soon. So that could be the second exchange that's listed on the stock market in the US. And again, it is apart from kind of is it a good idea to have Coinbase shares or Kraken shares? Or that's a business decision. Not going into that, but the more this up, the more crypto is accepted. The more potential. So we got the ETFs now. We got the mining companies that are quoted in the US. We got many companies like MicroStrategy and many others. They have a now crypto treasury. So there's plenty more. The more of these projects are around, the more it becomes normalized. Okay, and then usable by, then going from the millions to the billions. That will make the biggest difference. And the other big projects that may be doing an IPO is ConsenSys.
ConsenSys behind MetaMask and so on and so forth, the big Ethereum EVM chain. providers.
Yeah, exactly. So Consensus is the, again, MetaMask creator. Okay, and again, the founder of Consensus is one of the original ETF founders. So just say if you think, apart from, so there's one is still in Ethereum, then one in Cardano, one in Consensus, MetaMask, one is in Polkadot. So they've all done pretty sizable things that have been relevant. If you think about that bunch of 20-something-year-olds that created Ethereum will probably be responsible for the structure of our, underlying structure of our world in 5 years' time. A big chunk of it.
Yeah, it's pretty significant. And I'm seeing an article this morning as well on they are looking to do that valuation refresh of MicroStrategy shortly. So that could be something with the current price of Bitcoin that could massively affect the valuation of that company as well. So the shares haven't been doing too great so far this cycle, but this bump now could be the thing that finally pushes it, I think.
Oh, definitely. And another thing, so talking about MicroStrategy, another thing that could happen now, they got all the criteria to be included in the S&P 500. The only thing so it hasn't been approved. There's still a vote to get onto the S&P 500, which has been, the vote at this, so it's not public. Again, and it hasn't been publicized. They don't publish the reasons why or why not. But at the moment, although they have got all the criteria to be included, they haven't been included. If they were included, it means that there's many pension funds, investment funds that just automatically buy all the shares of the company in the S&P 500. So that would include then quite a bit of pressure, buying pressure into MicroStrategy shares as well. And that's probably the reason why it hasn't been approved. Because, if all of a sudden you get like a crypto company, start having incredible returns compared to any other company, then, it could be kind of like, I'm not saying game over, but it could put under scrutiny the position of many other companies, that they don't look like the best place to park your money anymore.
Yeah, so saving embarrassment for the traditional infrastructure of where to invest.
Yeah,
I mean, similar to the inflows we've seen in the ETFs. You've said that they're bigger than, to a huge degree, bigger than any other ETF launches of anything else we've ever had.
Yeah, but not just that. See, the funny thing about that as well, about the ETFs, is not just we look at the BlackRock ETF, which is bigger than anything else, and has been the biggest success in history, is beating all records. But if you look at all the ETFs, the Bitcoin ETFs, they're all in the top 25. So it's unbelievable. So even the kind of the least successful one would have been a dream for anybody else. Anybody else has launched an ETF last year, they only wish they could have done as well as the worst Bitcoin ETF. Which is saying something to the kind of interest that there is around these products.
Yeah, and this is such a marked difference from the last cycle when everything was negative. There were no ETFs, there was no mention of crypto mainstream, and the turnaround is huge. So that arrow of time, the direction of flow, is definitely towards digital currencies, cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, and also something I wanted to share with you. Actually, I was looking at the other day. Let me see. Let me just go on to the trading view.
Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome.
Not that I wanted to show you. Let's go into another BTC chart. And so now look at Bitcoin in the price in gold. So just to show you where we are. So this is where we were in kind of 2021. Okay, so we have beginning of 2025, we have actually we have a new high for Bitcoin in gold. Okay, and then now we've kind of gone down, gone back down because gold has had this stellar rise this year. But even compared to where we were in, the top of 2017, so the top of the previous cycle, there's quite a big difference now. So look at the income. This is we're taking away all the dollars and everything. We take away all inflation, because we're looking about two products there, kind of based on like not related to monetary inflation. And you see, in 2017, at the top of the market, Bitcoin would have been worth 16 ounces of gold. Now is worth 27. And at the top of the market in 2021 was up to about 38. We got to about 40, 41. But you can see it's not just not just in terms of price in general, but also its relationship to gold, because both Bitcoin and gold have gone up, markedly in the past couple of years. But also his relationship to gold has gone up since 2023. And in terms of saying kind of like how volatile is Bitcoin, it's not that when you look at its relationship with price rather than the dollar, sorry, with gold rather than the dollar, is not then that crazy as it is against the dollar. We still are now well within the 2021 prices. You see where we are at the moment. You can look at this level here, which is not overpriced from a gold point of view at all. It's kind of like mid-range. So there will still be kind of like a lot of, if you think that the relationship with gold stays pretty stable, and the gold price goes up over time because of what we were discussing before. Let me tell you that. So this is the relationship of, if this is gold, okay, which since I think 2015 I started growing. So 10 years ago, gold was about worth $1,000. Now it's worth $4,000. Okay. So especially here in this last period, if gold grows at this rate, it means that people don't trust the global currencies to hold their value. So if the direction of travel is this for gold, and Bitcoin's relationship to gold is pretty stable, it means that they can be talking about similar use case now for gold and Bitcoin. So yeah, kind of interesting to take away a lot of the noise. This is something it's very good to on TradingView. You can use formulas as well, apart from simple charts, and that takes away a lot of the noise, which I find really useful. So keep the rate steady. So you would have expected, yes, so obviously it's gone down compared to a few months ago because gold had just shot up by 30%. But overall, you say Bitcoin is not overpriced in gold terms at all.
One question: when sounds like we've got interest rates coming down and a period of is it quantitative easing, what they call it, and they just print money. Where does that money flow first? Is it into risk assets or?
Yeah, so to all sorts of risk assets, because basically at the end of the day, so just let me stop sharing this. So what happens is that people that have got money, we're talking about especially like pensioners, they are the biggest demographic group, you know, they want to get a cash flow because they need cash to live on. So when the interest rates go down, I think you wouldn't think, okay, the interest rates were 5% in, you know, like a year ago. Possibly by the middle of next year, we might be down at 3%. So obviously, if you're a pensioner, you're not just saying, well, you know what, I'm just eat half of what I was eating last year. It's unlikely. So what people do, they go in search of yield in other places. You know, when the interest rates come down, so they look for other things. So this is why we consider like risk capital, because you have to take a bigger risk to produce the same yield. And so then money finds its way into all sorts of different assets, wherever they think that they can receive the yield that they want. So that's why it goes into, you know, historically has gone into like stocks and shares mainly. But now obviously increasingly there is increasing interest in crypto as well.
And so it wouldn't go to gold because that's the safe store.
Yeah, gold is as a store of value. I mean, like if you had, you know, if people they want to make sure that they keep their value over time, they might have
put it in gold.
Yeah.
But if they're looking for yield, then it's more likely to be stocks and shares. And if Bitcoin suddenly has that feature of being a store of value and actually can get yield because of DeFi, Cardano DeFi, does it become the go-to asset? You know, by default, just everything flows towards Bitcoin then, because you can get yield on it as well as storing.
Definitely, yeah. So yeah, interesting to see. But we have, you know, come to the end of the session. It's 10 o'clock now. So I wish you all a fantastic weekend. And next week, so if your guys are okay, we're thinking of kind of moving it back by an hour. So starting like 1 hour earlier, slightly, so that we can kind of make the people on the other side of the world a little bit happier, because for them will be kind of really late. So then for next week we're going to do like 8 a.m. rather than sorry, I take it back. So I need a little bit of time to prepare. So I'm not gonna get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to prepare. So we leave the crypto hours at 9 o'clock. The AAW hour though is going to move to an hour earlier. Okay. So I will see you again same time next week. And Jonathan, if you're kind of like answer my message on Discord, so if you're free, we can catch up later.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
Okay, so have a great weekend, and I will see you all next week. Bye, everyone.